This is Singles Exchange. Let's talk, let's hang. This is Singles Exchange. Singles Exchange.
All right, welcome back to the Beauty Exchange, a mashup of two amazing podcasts. I am Joy J, the host and founder of Singles Exchange, an online community that focuses on conversations, connections, and community. And we have the lovely Mrs. Raquel Gilmore here to tell us all about Beauty Talk.
Well, thank you, Kylie. Yes, my name is Raquel Gilmore, and I am the creator and founder of a platform by the name of Beauty Talk. We recently just hit podcast maybe a year ago. So if you're looking for any like Christian, biblical content, but that's really relatable and talks about the everyday life of a believer, my audience is for the ladies, but I believe that if you listen to it, you'll get something out of it. And you can find me on any of the podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all of that. If you want to reach me on social media right now, you just look up my name on Facebook, Raquel Gilmore. If you have any questions or whatever, just any like say so about like the content, the podcast, whatever. I do get a little bit of feedback here and there, and it helps a lot. So yes, Raquel Gilmore, and I'm the creator of the Beauty Talk podcast.
Listen, I don't even think I said where you can find Singles Exchange, but you can find Singles Exchange.
Go right ahead.
On Instagram, on YouTube, and whatever your podcast streaming platform is. And yeah, we're gonna hop right in. We started doing this a few weeks ago, just to talk about one of my favorite shows, Married at First Sight. And this season is season 12. And I'm sure, even though I haven't seen all of the seasons, I am sure this is the most controversial season to date. So we just been sitting down to rightly divide, huh?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I don't know if was this episode 5 or 6. I don't remember.
It gives me 5 vibes. I don't even think that we've allowed ourselves to get that far. But if we are in 6, we'll find it out another time. But I believe we are in episode 5.
I'm pretty sure with episode 5. Yes, it is. I just looked at last week's episode. So yes, this was episode 5. And it was a doozy. So this week we're gonna start with the worst parts.
Yes.
And work out.
So sorry to say, but we're starting there.
We just gonna start there and just get it out. Just get it out so we can end on a positive note. So did you want to start with Chris and Paige?
Okay, first of all, I am under the understanding that y'all just not praying for us having to review them. At this point, there's so much you can say about them. I'm not going to totally drag them out because I feel like the show does enough of that. At this point of my life as a true Married at First Sight fan and a hopeless romantic, I'll give you that. That's my point is a little biased. They almost just need their own show. Like they got too much going on in my notes. When it starts off with the conversation with them, so if I'm not mistaken, Joe, you can help me out. So we at the point, they open up the episode and the producers are like, you need to tell her, you need to tell her, you need to tell her. It's all this like controversy about something that she does not know. Obviously, the vibe is like really off. And you got to think about it in the true fashion of this show. It's not like you and Bae together in the hotel and y'all going through whatever. Y'all have a full production, right? So I'm sure it is weird. I'm sure it is awkward. He going behind scene. He whispering. He hush hush. So I start my notes at the point that she's asking him questions, but he's giving her very short answers. Because they are just meeting each other and they are husband and wife, that's just not going to work for me. And I don't want to bash Chris. I do have one good thing to say about him. The quick answers don't work for me. The third day you have this news and it is very devastating. That's just a lot to me. Devastation is devastation. Trauma is trauma. But the third day I just met you, just got married. Okay. Paige said it's too much. Paige said something that the third day married folks, the 10-year married folks, and the 60-year married folks. She said, I quote, "It is not about you, it's about us." Chris don't understand that. You don't understand that every single thing that you do is a reflection of me. If you go through hell and high water, they're going to attach it to me. Why? Because we're now Chris and Paige. We are now Mr. and Mrs. And I think even with those kind of concepts that she understands about marriage, I just don't think that Chris understands it. Although everybody walked into this experiment saying, I'm ready. I'm ready to be a husband. I'm ready for my forever. So you need to understand that all of the decisions that we make will impact each other. I love that she mentioned that to him. And I seen this on the Married at First Sight page, but I had already had it on my notes when he was telling her to like take your mic off so we can have like this moment. Normally Joy give y'all the background stories, but I'm gonna give a little bit of this one.
Oh yeah.
So they start the episode off. There's obviously this huge secret, something that he does not want her to know yet. The producer saying that she needs to know. They put pressure. They was like, she needs to know right now. We can talk about that another time, how urgent they made it. So he pulls her into, looks like a bathroom or a restroom, tell her to take a mic off, and he begins to tell her that he has a baby on the way by his ex-fiance.
And he did say the ex-fiance. He did say the ex-fiance.
You said what?
I said he did say the ex-fiance because a lot of people are speculating that it's not the ex-fiance, it's another woman. But he did say out of his mouth, my ex-fiance. So
yeah. And he later on in the episode goes to the point of like, you know, we were broken off. We were not together, talking about ex-fiance. I only want to say her name, but her name comes up a lot. However, she had a great past in her family. And you know how like you're grieving and you're going through like the whole emotional process. And he goes to like physically check on her, one thing they with another, and they have the sex. So he kind of paints that narrative that like in that moment, that's when he believes that she conceived. Now we don't know if that's true or not, but whatever. But even at that, you know, if I'm jumping around a little bit, I am. But in the beginning of the episode, Paige is basically telling Chris, like, something adding up. Some about your story just does not make sense to me. And that's the thing too. Like, men, y'all gotta understand, and this ain't to bash the men. When you got a smart woman, now all women ain't that smart. But some of us gonna always put 2 and 2 together and get 4. And if it ain't right, we're gonna let you know that point of your story was wrong. And you're not gonna play me like it is, like it makes sense.
Yeah.
She like it doesn't make sense. I put Paige wasn't around. I feel connect with his family, ex-wife. Those are just my said. Hope I did douchebag right now. I'm gonna take it ready. Joyce, your turn.
No, you gotta say it again because it was breaking up. You heard me? You gotta say it again.
No, it was on pause, but go ahead.
Yeah, you gotta say it again because it was breaking up. We missed that whole story.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I said, I believe that if he was not on this show, he would definitely go back and try to work it out with ex-fiance and new baby and want his family. I don't got to prove that, but he just gave me them vibes like, I'm here with you, but I will go back there, you know. And he does make a statement somewhere in the show, like, you know, now that you're my wife, you go before and I didn't write this down, but you go before fiance and you go before my unborn child. You are my, you know. And I feel like at a point in time, he just started running a little game on Paige. And I believe Paige was going for it. So I also mentioned that she is very hopeful. Very hopeful. I put a sad emoji with a tear by it. But yes, it was just a whole lot for me. And at some point in this episode, right, the Rick on the Beauty Exchange, I'm gonna put on the full page accent. Y'all get ready.
Oh gosh. I am not ready. I'm not ready for your page accent. Not. So I think that you summed up Paige and Chris pretty well this week. I want to talk a little bit about Paige specifically. What I expected to happen with Paige is exactly what is happening with Paige. And I don't think it's totally fair. So when we talked earlier this week about the episode, I said that we were going to discuss how it's easy for people who are in relationships, who are married, to say what Paige should have done, you know. Um, but as a single woman, which clearly, being a founder of Singles Exchange, I've chosen to embrace my singlehood, but it's not easy to be single, especially in this climate, especially with us being in a pandemic. It's harder to meet people. It's harder to go on dates. Like it's a lot of layers to dating. And for me, I can tell you, if I were Paige, the things that would be running through my head from my experience. I have people in my life that tell me that I'm too picky, that I don't give enough chances. I also have people in my life that tell me that I'm not picky enough, that I give too many chances. So you have all of those narratives running in your mind. Then the narrative of people that say, oh, what's the line that I hate? Girl, you better enjoy single life because marriage is work. It's a lot of hard work, and he not gonna be perfect, and he gonna have flaws. So you're gonna have to learn how to love him through his flaws. Like, you got all of these narratives running through your mind at one time, and it's like, okay, this is a ridiculous situation, yes, but do I even have other options? And that's great. Everybody can scream and holler, she beautiful, she educated, blah, blah, blah. She got options. That's great till you sitting in this seat. I'm beautiful and I'm educated and I'm real single. So um I I feel sorry for Paige because I don't foresee the situation getting better, but I'm not mad at her for being hopeful because what else I got to lose at this point? I had already married the man, you know, and I think that's even another layer to it. Is it's not like she met this man and went on one date and then all this stuff came out and she can just walk away. She is legally bound to this man. So, yeah, I feel bad for her because at this point, people are attacking her faith. People are attacking her self-esteem. And even if that's what they think, you don't have the right to judge her. Like, she has the right to think how she wants and believe how she wants. So that is my thought on the Paige situation. I feel sorry for Paige, but not for the reasons that other people feel sorry for Paige. So anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, that I do, because and I think that you add like a whole different, like, other, like, perspective that I feel like the masses are not talking about. Like, the masses concerning Paige at this point is basically they dogging her almost as much as they're dogging Chris. I'm thinking about if this doesn't work, the aftermath of this traumatic experience, because she has a very very strong line of the show that God has blessed this. God has brought us together. I haven't manifested, for the folks who think we manifesting stuff. God has manifested the thing. This is my husband. She done said everything but said, this is my Boaz, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh at this point. And I'm just thinking, like, what kind of impact this is going to have on her, because there's so many different layers of, you're not beautiful, the colorism, what I'm saying? You're not enough, like, you got a brain, but that got nothing to do with it. It's just your body, and when people was like, I'm surprised she just ain't ran up out of here. When he's hit the baby hole situation, I was like, I'm surprised this woman ain't left, because, and I think you and I had discussed, and I've discussed with other people, it's one thing to have somewhat of a foundation, and then we get hit with all this stuff. Y'all don't have nothing. And this being like life-changing stuff. There's been people that have been married 20, 30 years. Once a baby hit the scene that ain't mine, I'm out of here. So that's why I was like, man, she is so hopeful. And she does bring her faith back in it. And you are correct. People on social media are like, that's the problem with Christians now. Y'all believe in a God that ain't even real. And you mean to tell me that God will bring you a man like this? That is not God. I believe even Jamie had made a statement like, honey, you need to run. The Lord ain't in it.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be a go ahead and be a go ahead and be a good Christian and say this one right here. The Bible says that all things shall work together for the good of those who love God. So I'm gonna say it like this: whether they stay together or not, that thing is gonna work together for her good. We have seen in Married at First Sight and in Love Is Blind, for those people who watch that the show, you may have a douchebag, but somewhere down the line, you just get blessed with like the person of your dreams. So I'm hopeful for that this thing is gonna turn around in some way, work for because
And I do believe that
I heard none you said. I know your lips are
I didn't say
moving, but
anything.
the
I
signal
didn't say
was like
anything.
so bad.
I didn't say anything yet. I was saying that
Oh, okay, cool.
think that her Boaz is watching. I think that he is seeing this travesty unfold and he is just waiting for decision day to air to say, listen, I got you. That's my personal
Let
preference.
me tell y'all what I want. Let me tell y'all what I want Paige Boaz to be. Not this man, but a man that moves in this kind of spirit. I need her to have a full camera.
I like Cameron.
I need her to have a man that come right to the scene. Yeah, we love Cameron. He ain't got to be a white man, but I'm talking about the spirit of. Okay, come in right there, baby. I see you. I see what you've gone through. What you went through don't intimidate me. Your past don't intimidate me. And I'm ready to love you who you are and love you beyond that for the woman you don't even know that you could be. I have a famous saying that, not a famous saying, but it's famous in my life, that when a woman is loved properly, she transforms. I believe that Paige still got that ability in her.
That's good. I agree with that. And I pray that the end of the season does not bring about detrimental things for her because I agree. As a dark skinned woman, I've experienced guys telling me you too dark for me. And you pretty, but I don't want my kids to be dark skinned. Like that's literal things that have happened. So I pray that all her dreams come true because I'm sure this is not the way she anticipated these things going. So,
I'm
Paige,
sure.
watching and listening, honey, you got two people out here praying. Okay? Two.
Okay, that thing gonna work together for your good. It ain't got no choice but to work together.
And the Bible says two or three are gathered, huh?
There he is. In the midst.
So we're going to the next couple kind of leads right into what we're talking about. So at the end of the episode, Chris did tell the other couples that he had found out that his ex-fiance was pregnant. And
Hold on, don't forget to mention Chris didn't really want to tell him. But
he
Paige said they're gonna find
didn't
out anyway.
want to tell anybody. And okay, let's get on that soapbox for a hot second. I'm not totally mad at that. I already married a stranger. These people pretty much strangers. It's already gonna be on TV. Do I gotta do all this right now?
Yeah.
This is a lot of pressure. I married somebody 3 days ago that I'm not attracted to. I done got heat from my family because I slept with her, and I probably shouldn't have. Well, he definitely should have, but in his mind is probably. I done, clowned on TV and had a whole temper tantrum. And now I'm trying to, rebuild and start fresh. And then I get a call from my ex-fiance saying that she pregnant. Now I got to tell this girl who is still a stranger, who I just met, but I'm married to, that we got another problem. And it's not a small problem, it's a major problem. I got to tell her this on national TV and so on and so forth. So although I don't agree with the
Hold
way
on, did you say he also got to tell the baby mama now that I'm married now?
he claims he did tell her. I don't know if I believe that part, but he did say he told her that this person existed. There's somebody else in my life. So I don't know how far that went. But although I don't agree with the way he handled it, I definitely understand him being so flustered and frustrated. This too much for 3 days. And just like we saying it's too much for Paige, it's too much for him. Even though it was his own actions that brought it on him, I'm sure he would not have imagined all of this was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like never in his mind didn't
At one time.
At one time saying, "Oh my God, I married this girl, and now I found out that this other girl pregnant." Like it's a lie. So he tells the other couple, him and Paige tell the other couples what's going on. And she did have a point. They're gonna find out anyway. But one of the couples chose to come in later. And this is how we gonna get into
segue.
We're gonna segue into Eric and Virginia. So one of the couples comes in later and they're kind of rehashing this is what's going on. And he tells them, my ex-fiance is pregnant. To which the girl replies, well, is it yours? And a lot of people had a lot of opposing views on that. Raquel, do you want to tell them what you think first?
Okay, so here's the thing. I looked at it from two ways. I looked at it from the side of we don't know each other, we're strangers, you in my business, don't do that perspective. And then I looked at it from the way of the Married at First Sight, the production way, because if you are a fan of the show, you do understand that some conversations are just set up to be had. You know, whether they tell them or whether them just putting them in such awkward position. Because in real life, you would not have had to have 4 different couples outside of yourself, but we being strangers having to sit down and have dialogue right after we got married. The show set it up that way because I believe Dr. Peppers or one of them say they need to like lean on each other for like support. You know what I'm saying? And then it creates content, whatever. But so in regular life, no, you would not have that. But I feel like in Married at First Sight life, it kind of comes along with that, and we're going to have like those conversations. Like, you know, a couple seasons ago when someone said, what would you rate your marriage? It was last year. Mm-hmm. And the dude was like, he didn't want to answer that. But in Married at First Sight custom, people have to have conversation and have to have like their dialogue. And sometimes their dialogue is really irritating other people, but it's going to be had. So in regular life, heck no. But in Married at First Sight life, I get it. I do think that he was stepping on some toes. And but I don't think that the other people really know how unstable Chris is. We ain't really talked about that. But his wife does. She know that he be having breakdowns. She know that he claims to have panic attack.
I forgot to say that when we were talking about Paige and Chris, but I love the black girl moment where she understood without words, this man is tipping over and he about to flip his lid. And y'all shut up because y'all don't know he about to flip his lid. So
he gonna turn all the tables upside down.
He gonna tear all this stuff up. Ain't that what they say? Now for me, I feel like Virginia, I like Virginia overall. I don't think she meant any harm by her statement. However, culturally, you don't do that. Like in Black culture, you say something like that is fighting words. Because one, it's redundant. I wouldn't be telling you the girl is pregnant if it wasn't my baby. It wouldn't be my concern. But
exactly,
that's just kind of personal. And I agree that, you know, there are some conversations that would not necessarily be had in regular culture that inside of the culture of the show you will have. But I do think she was wrong for that. And like I said, I don't think that she meant any harm by it. But some people say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Your intentions can be good, still be wrong all day long.
I like that. Yeah. Listen, and then that's the thing. I don't know about other cultures because I've never had to live in other cultures or live and do life with predominantly like Caucasians or whatever, other than when I was like younger, but not in my adult life. But I say that to say, I feel like some of us as Black folks, we understand that some things you need to mind your own business. Even if we're going to talk about it in the car on the way home or pillow talk or we get on the phone or in the group chat, that's fine. But some stuff we just ain't going to, we just got that code. We don't say it, but we understand.
I have a friend that says that's kitchen table talk, and kitchen table talk is not for outside ears. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, but we gonna talk about it. It's just not right now.
Discuss it, but we're not gonna discuss it in front of all these people, and we definitely not gonna do it on TV. You know what I'm saying? So
no.
At this point, it is what it is. I also, you know, in another part of that same scenario, after she made the comment like, "Is it yours?" and Paige is sitting there like, "No, just shut up."
Yes, she was.
The follow-up to Eric saying, "You need to focus on her right now. You need to focus on Paige right now." Again, good intentions, not a good idea. Like, it was good in your head, but sir, we've been married the same amount of time. You got married 3 days ago, like I got married 3 days ago, and you should be grateful that you don't have this situation. So,
and I think Eric had liquid courage. I think that Eric been hitting that bottle with his wife. Y'all ain't telling me nothing.
They both were drunk, and that's my thing. At the end of the day, they both were drunk, but you know that ain't no excuse. We can't be out like that.
Yeah. So, what they say, a drunk person speak a sober mind.
Honey, that's what they say.
That's what they say. So you should look. We come back with all of they said, but anyway, it's accurate for right now. Okay. So moving on to Virginia and Eric. You want to start with them, or you want me to start with them?
I can start with them because I didn't have a whole lot. Um, so I really enjoyed that Eric was like, he took her on that date. They all had a romantic night with just the couples, and then they met up to be with the group. So when we saw their individual dates, and he had her on that dock, which I'd be scared I'm gonna tip over you. I'm not gonna fall in this water, sir.
Mm-hmm.
When he got out there on the dock and you could see all the lights, and he was like, "You said you wanted to see Vegas, so I'm showing you Vegas." Like, I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was dope because one, you showing her that you paid attention. She said that and you listened, but you didn't just listen. You took it to heart and you put some action behind it. So I
Yes.
really, really like that. That is definitely one of my love languages. Pay attention to me. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like that. And like I've been saying with Eric and Virginia from the get go, she is the party girl. She likes to have fun because she doesn't know another way to have fun. But I believe that he is going to introduce her to some, I won't say more mature because I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking, but some other ways of having fun. And I think that that was the first night of him doing that, and he wowed her. He
Yes, he
wowed.
did.
So, the only other thing was like we've been saying from the get go, sis, put the bottle down. It's okay. You ain't got to drink every day, all day. Like,
No,
it's all right. Give your liver a break.
give your liver a
That's
break.
really all I have for Eric and Virginia. I know you probably got more than what I get.
Listen, give your liver a break, give your man a break, because clearly you got Bay even a little tipsy, and he may be a lightweight with alcohol, so you just never know really what you brought it into. But I put on here at one point in the show, Eric had said that Chris was a little off. I don't think he know how off Chris is, but I did think that was interesting that he was able to pick it up because he is off. Them being late, I thought it was ironic because he normally does not like to be late. She said that she's always late, and I was like, y'all been in together for real, because like I feel like once you become together with another person, y'all do begin to pick up each other ways, whether that be intentional or accidental. Because we sharing a life. That's like the powerful thing about like coming together. One of the powerful things. Oh, I got something I can't even say. So when they were having conversation about just like day-to-day life and routine before they were married, all I kept saying was, this man is settled. This man got routine. He like what he like. He go where he go. He do. I'm not really trying to outdo nothing outside of that. And I believe I have spoken on that thing before, but I think that like they're gonna have to have like a really, really great compromise. I'm not really gonna get into that because I have talked about that before. When she was talking to him about like her prior routine before becoming a wife, I was like, she gives me I want college boyfriend vibes. Like, not I'm ready for a settled husband. And I think that like because he has been married and he was married for years, that put more maturity on him, because and not saying that that's a good or a bad thing, but I'm saying because of those experiences, they have a way of shaping who we are. So it's like I've been married, I've been through divorce, but the next time I do it, I'm going to be this way, I'm going to be that way. But you didn't know you was going to marry a woman like Virginia.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The healthy and slash they talked about like the healthy jealousy. For me, I don't like jealousy, but I want to take a pause here because some women think that whole like jealousy thing with their man is like attractive. What you think about that? Because the jealousy topic came up when they was in the pool.
And you know what? I forgot to put the jealousy thing in my notes, but I'm glad it came up because um I am not a fan of the jealous man.
Mm-hmm.
I am always very leery of men who are jealous. Although I don't think that's I don't know if that's the way he intended it, but I didn't like it. I don't like the concept that says that men and women cannot be friends because that's just
Mm-hmm.
not true. Like I have tons of male friends um,
Agreed.
who I have never had any sexual encounters with or thought about having sexual encounters with. Like it is possible. Friendship is not based on your genitalia, or it shouldn't be. It should be based on more than
Mm-hmm.
that. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the concept, and because I have a male best friend who I've been best friends with for at this point almost 15 years. Um when guys say that, that's an instant red flag
Mm-hmm.
for me. I know the
And
con-
we ain't about to cut that off and do away with it.
we're not gonna just cut it off and do it. That's been my friend forever. And if we're married, he is our friend because what's yours is mine, and what's mine is
Mhm.
yours. And even if y'all don't have the same relationship, these are my friends. I don't expect you to get rid of your friends unless they are also exes. Now, if they are an ex, that's
Mhm.
a different thing. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I didn't like that concept. I actually recently there was a guy at my job trying to, and listen, every once in a while I act up. Every once in a while Johnny Johnson sneak out of me.
Mhm.
And so this guy he had been really flirting with me, and um another guy that works with us came in and he told him, like, hey, don't be going behind her desk. I don't want you too close to my woman. And
Mhm.
he claimed he was joking, but I told him straight up, listen, let me tell you something. I don't do jealous stuff. I'll pop you.
Mhm.
And he looked at me like,
Mhm.
what? I'll pop you. Honey,
Mhm.
I don't do that. I'm dead serious. Because that's how
Yeah.
people die.
Mhm.
Folks go crazy because they want to be jealous, and then you on the first 48. Nah,
Basically.
it's a no for me, big dog. So
It's it's a no for me too. And I think, and I don't want to like drag in jealousy too deep, but I personally believe that the root of jealousy is insecurity. Now that could be another episode for another day, but that also came up with Chris and Paige when she had the conversation with some male friends, and he flipped about that. You don't have no male friends. Blah, blah, blah. I'm your only friend. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. I'm not even going to be redundant. I pretty much agree like you. I don't have a male best friend for that many years, but I have a lot of male friends around me, and I'm gonna say this even from the married woman. They be coming in when I don't be knowing what to get Quinn or where to shop. I'm name dropping. I'll be hitting them shirts and I'm like, hey, what y'all doing? What y'all buying? What would y'all want y'all girl to get y'all? All of that. And they be coming in.
help.
Listen, help me. If my husband's a bigger guy, one of my brothers is a bigger guy, he put me right in the plug. This who got the sales. This who got the quality clothes. This who gonna have high end. This who gonna have low end. I wouldn't know that stuff in my own life.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this going in it at the back end of the jealousy route. I'm glad that she spoke up, though. I'm glad that she was not meek and quiet about that. There was a point when they were talking about it, and he said, I know how all guys operate. And she said, no, is that how you operate? I love that. Claps, because you cannot put all men in a general setting and say that all men are going to want to smash every female friend that they have. That's not true.
That's just not true. That's just not true. And then to say that only if they gay, like what? Yeah,
Yes.
it was a bit much for me.
Yeah. And then he ended the conversation and came back and said that I just want to do whatever to make you happy. But then I said in my mind too, somewhere in there, he got some trust issues. Now, I don't really know. And I don't think the audience really know how much of really what happened in that ex relationship, but I can almost in my mind tag them too. Something somewhere where some trust was broken, somebody did something that was foul, and now I got to be looking at you sideways. And then what happens is we take those narratives as we approach new relationships and trying to box all women in the same category that all women are like this, or if she's presented with this, because you can have a situation where a man hit on a woman and their wife, their girlfriend not say nothing, and then another woman will call back and be like, guess what? I was at McDonald's and this man will ask me for my number. Like you have women like this, so you cannot say that we all are the same. But it made me it intrigued me about what happened in that last marriage. And if she the right kind of woman, she gonna want to dig in that eventually.
And see, my thought process was similar, but it was more so looking at him because he said that a man and woman cannot be friends. So I was like, so every woman that you quote unquote friends with, you tried to smash them. Like, is this a you
Basically.
thing? Like you said, is it an insecurity thing because of who you are, or is it something that you experienced in your last relationship? Either way, it's trauma. Deal with that before you bring it here.
Deal with that, yeah. And you ain't gonna put that on me.
Because I didn't do it.
And I don't have to pay for that check that somebody else wrote. Like, and I don't mean to like be like churchy, not churchy with all the cliches, but it's not fair to me because that's not what I did. You did experience that with someone else, but that's not what I did. When they started going back and talking about like life and personal life, I wrote again on my notes, this man is so settled, and being settled and having stability is okay. I'm not mad at that. To some degree, it's a great thing to have. But when you are joining lives with another person, some of that is going to be a little different. And then when she was saying that she was worried about the schedule, some people on the Married at First Sight fan page was like, listen, I wish my husband was gonna have the money. I can live my life, do my thing, shop how I want to shop, eat where I want to eat, and then we come back and be married. But she was making the standpoint about, like, you know, the life she see for her kids, and she wants them to go to activities and games and things of that nature. And she wanted her husband to be there to support that. And I didn't think about it then, but I'm thinking about it now. I feel like in relationships, there's going to always be multiple things that you're not going to necessarily like, but you're going to have to figure out how to handle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You know, you want him to have an average 9 to 5, but the reality is he is a pilot. The reality is he is settled in his career. The reality is he gonna pay them bills, okay? He gonna take care of them kids. So it ain't all of, you know, no regular 9 to 5, but he's a provider.
Yeah, period.
He's a good provider too, because I heard they make a little money. Now that's my business.
He said he make a little change. That's what he said.
Okay, man. And she don't give me I want to work forever and always type of woman. That man will take care of her if they make it work.
That man take care of you, honey.
If that's you're gonna have to bring some kids on the scene too, but that's another topic.
But you know what? His mom, we talked about that a few episodes ago. His mom warned her, don't look for him to be present at all the games.
No.
Not gonna be like that. So I think like I've been saying, I think they could work, but I still stand firmly by I think they could work. So.
Another plug too with that, glad that you're bringing up Mama, and I promise I'm ready to move on to Haley and Jacob, is that because Mama and family really want kids, she fool around and not be really understanding what she really get. You are gonna get a bomb support. Like I've seen it in cases where the family don't really care for the mama of the child, but that love about them little nappy head grandkids that make family just get along. Like, you know, they popping up in games, they throwing parties. Yeah. They buying clothes. I've seen cases even in my own life that the family did not like the mother of the child, but they did the child whole Christmas. And even they siblings. I mean, that love be that strong. So I want to say Virginia gonna be supported.
For sure.
He may not be there every day, but them in-laws gonna step up.
She gonna have what she need. And they seem like they want to welcome her in. So that's so yeah. Anyway, we're moving on. Jacob and Haley. Let's do it. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I go first. Okay. I got my notes from last week and this week for everybody. So that's why I'm doing like a lot of reading because some of this stuff ain't changed. I've said it once, I'll say it again. He is weird to me. I get this 80s fetish, but sir, you talk about something else. Would you like something else? Yes, a different conversation.
I like something else.
Everything is 80s. And see, that's why sometimes when people start talking, you have to really listen because they're telling on themselves. He has literally stuck with this narrative from the beginning to right now. I am obsessed with everything of the 80s. So I put that he's kind of weird. But his friends approve of her. I did like that. I did like that they made mention of that. You know, friends are not everything, but I think I said because their situations are so uniquely put together. I like that the friends liked him. The Stonewall, kettlebell bells, and all of that. I was just like, sir, what are you doing? What are you talking about? And the 80s glasses and everything. One thing that I did love when she was smiling and she was saying that she had fun. Joy made mention that they had like their own individual dates and she was giving me a little googly eye. You know, something had happened and she had started like enjoying her husband. I said, okay, period. I'm here for this. Period. I'm here for this, you know. Because last week I felt like she really wasn't trying, but it's something about like now, and I want to say that they're having that intimate, having that quality time, and that thing is like really, really like impacting her in a really good way. Okay. I see her, and I think I said that if he begins to like romance her and become really, really intentional about her going to help with women, who he is, and can change her. Don't worry about it.
Listen, you got to repeat the last like 10 seconds because it was breaking up.
Okay. And I got messages coming in too, so that could be on my phone. I said that he's romanticizing her, and I love it. I think that's kept winning her over and winning over her attention and her heart. She looks like she is trying. I did put that. And I said this man is who he is, and he's not changing at all.
Listen, if it's anybody that's set in their ways, that man been in the 80s for 30 years. Okay? Telling you what I know, maybe even 40.
But I have to go unlock this door. Hold on, give me one second.
We gonna take this quick intermission. All right.
Okay, cool. I didn't even know you could do that.
I know. So as you were saying.
So we're back on. Perfect. So I was saying, I don't know the last thing y'all heard, and the signal kind of bad. So if anything is repetitive, charge it to the signal, not to Joy and I. But I was saying that this man is not changing at all. Don't look for him to change because it ain't happening.
It's not gonna happen. I agree. I feel like he has stated from the get-go that this is who he is. And although it's quirky and some people don't like it, I enjoy the fact that he is confident in who he is. This is who I am. It ain't gonna change. You gonna either put on this Star Wars with me or not. Like, what you gonna do? And as corny as I think it is, like I said, I appreciate that he is genuine. I'm glad that she's trying, because last week she hadn't got on my nerves. You're not gonna act like this man awkward, like you not awkward too. It takes two people to make a conversation work. And if he's trying to talk and you not giving him anything to engage with, it's going to be awkward, so like you put that there. So I appreciate that she is trying. She definitely gives me some googly eye vibes.
She does.
On her way. And I like that. Your husband is quirky and he loved the 80s. And that might not be your thing, but I think that every couple has something that is one partner's thing and not the other partner's thing. So that's what makes them unique. It's who you are, it's how you come together and make that work that makes it so exciting. So I appreciate them. That's literally all I had on my notes, was that they were googly eyed and starting to like each other. I also appreciate how laid back they are. They definitely take the approach of minding their business, and I appreciate that. Like, even when all the couples were together, they had little to nothing to say as far as Chris and his situation, and I appreciate that, because we can talk about it all day. That ain't gonna change what it is.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to seeing their love line expand, I guess. I don't know.
I definitely agree. So they did kiss. I was all in it. I was like, ooh, y'all kissing?
Definitely kiss. I was like, kissing?
Y'all kissing? Okay, I like this. I don't know if they smashed though. Now, in Married at First Sight history, there's always a thing. It's always a thing of, well, did y'all smash? Did y'all not? What y'all waiting on? Like we said before, there are couples who don't smash in the experiment at all. There are couples that hit it on the first night, Chris and Paige. And they're not the only ones, but just throwing it out there. But for me, it's always I'm not gonna say it's always. Most times, there's a different tone after they smash. There's this obvious connection. They are like, even like physically when they sit together, like as a couple, I feel like all those dynamics change. And I watch it because they at this point, they ain't on each other. Wait.
So I peeped when I don't know which person it was that asked if anybody had sex yet, but they purposely did not answer. So either they have had sex and they just don't want to say it yet.
Because sometimes it goes that way too. They'll come out later on in the weeks and be like, so we did do the hanky panky.
But if they haven't already, they definitely have the discussion, because they hold body language toward each other. Little things like, have you noticed that when couples go out, they do sit next to each other, but their knees kind of connect, like their body is turned toward the partner, and the little things like the way they were sitting.
Hold on, no, I'm listening for the folks who watch the YouTube. He's sitting down, she threw the back on him like, baby, we together.
I said, so she hitting the shoulder lead on that man.
Let me tell y'all something. I be watching the show, honey. I said, we got the back on it. Right?
Yeah.
Hold on. And let's be clear, it wasn't awkward because you can do that and that'd be awkward.
Yeah, and it was not. And for them to not have it be awkward, something is up.
Yeah. So they either done had the full sex or they done came close to.
Something happening.
1 second, Joy Johnson.
That from the get-go.
1 second, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, like that whole vibe, that whole chemistry, she comfortable. Like you said, they haven't had sex. We back recording.
Yeah.
We still recording, Joy. Yeah, so if they haven't had sex, they definitely working on that thing. They have talked about it or something. That intimacy, that chemistry is going. I will say this because this is a married at first sight discussion. That for the people who the couples that'll be like really apprehensive about that and really just do not want to have sex or want to come together, you don't necessarily have to do it that soon. But we could just shout out just for a moment the power of sex, the power of consummating your marriage, and y'all come together and y'all just sharing like those intimate moments. I think it does make a difference, especially when it's done in a healthy manner. The Kristen Page story, not there. I ain't talking about that. Not having sex to make yourself think you're gonna start liking her, not that.
Yeah, that was not the way to go. But
okay.
No. All right.
Clara and Ryan,
the red flag couple. Okay.
And the name of this episode is This a Red Flag?
Inspired by Clara and Ryan. I think we have the same thing on our notes. So I would just say my little one-liner because they didn't really have a whole lot to give either. This episode, I appreciated their chemistry. They went and played with the dolphins, blah, blah, blah. Fun fact, my best friend is petrified of dolphins.
Really? I thought that was so cute.
Oh God, we went to Cancun and we was like, we should swim with the dolphins. And she was like, no, those things try to rape people and they big enough to eat you. Like she had a whole She was not here for it. So we literally did not swim with dolphins because she wasn't going. So yeah, I thought it was hilarious that they did that because I remember when we went on our trip, it was a no. But
I am so excited to do that one day. For the fact.
I appreciated their chemistry though. Like they're definitely beginning to build their bond, and like I appreciate that. But that whole thing with the kids, like when they were sitting inside the little planetarium, I'm like, oh, baby, this is going to be a tough one. And don't get me wrong. A red flag does not automatically mean that it won't work. But a red flag is definitely something that you're going to have to be very intentional about working through. And this is a doozy. So you want to give your spiel first or you want me to give mine?
Listen, I'll go ahead and give my spiel real quick. But I'm going to say this with the red flag. Even though sometimes people can't work through red flags, sometimes on the other end of the spectrum is that's absolutely no, we can't even move past this. What I'm going to need for us to do, and that's all of us included, let's not act like the red flags are not there.
Period.
If that makes sense. Like we got to talk about it at some point. We have to discuss it. We got to figure out what's going to be our give and take. What's going to be our compromise. Am I going to draw you in or you going to draw me in or whatever? Because we have to walk together, like in the same accordance in order for us to take steps forward. You know, if you walking left and I'm walking right, we're not making any progress. We just doing a whole bunch of movement, but we're not walking together. So she said, my life will never be routine. But she said, my life will never be routine, but you can be routine and I'll pop in and out every day or something like that. I don't know if I quoted that correctly, but he does give me very rigid vibes. I said that last week and he does give me, this is my routine. This is my life. I hang out with, I shop where I shop, I go shop how I do. I live my life. And then you have this wife who is very out of the box. I don't necessarily see it that being a red flag because that comes up in our other couples. However, finding what works for the both of y'all. Y'all gonna have to have some give and take.
Most definitely. And not just a little give and take because the whole conversation about kids are a big thing in any relationships. Kids can be any relationship. And so having this whole conversation about how he would want to raise his kids versus how she would want to raise her kids. We said it last week, and I'm just gonna say it again. Clara got some church hurt. Clara, there's room at the cross for you, okay, baby? There's room at the cross for you. He still loves you. Huh? But I do feel like the fact that Clara does not want her children to be raised in any specific faith, and he
Mhm.
does, is a huge red flag.
Mhm.
And it could potentially be disastrous. It's not just because of them too, but because of his family's background. And we don't really know much about Clara's family's background and how they feel
Mm.
about it. So I'm that one got me nervous now. I've been rooting for them from the get-go, but the whole child rearing thing has me very nervous.
Listen, be nervous. I have a few other things I want to say about them, but I want to mention this really quick. I had a friend in undergrad at college, and her dad was a Muslim, mama was a Christian.
Oh wow.
If confusion was a person, it'll be baby girl. She was confused about every. When I tell you, like, I used to have conversations with her, and I used to be like, some a little off, like, and we go to smaller institutions, y'all often have like a classroom discussions, like out loud, and professors kind of pick your brain. What's your thoughts? What's your views? What's your standpoint? Blah, blah, blah. So we having conversations. We would have dialogue about a lot of stuff. And she was a very intelligent girl, but like her foundation of views will always be like, huh? That ain't what Christians believe, or maybe that's what, like, it will always like intertwine. And if you know anything about those two different faiths, they're not supposed to intertwine. One believes in one God, one believes in the other. And the values are different as well. But it wasn't until I had a conversation, she told me, like, she expressed to me one time how frustrating it was for her to grow up in a household with the both of them. So sometimes she would go to the Christian, go to the church, and I forgot where they go practice it, but sometimes she would go to that place with her dad. And then I used to wonder, like, how, because her parents were married. And I was like, how did that work? How did, like, them being married for all these years, and she'll be like, it was just something that basically they would have strongly disagree with all the time. But mama would more so take the passive approach because he was the husband and she wanted to honor him. But even seeing the byproduct with the children was interesting to me. I think it is hilarious that you said that there is room at the cross for her, because it is. She got time still to go to the throne of grace.
Get to the cross, Clara.
See, we need to put them intercessors on the show with the violent tongues and gonna bring her in. But that is there is definitely a red flag. It's gonna have to be something, especially when you a person like a believer who believes that Christ is like your foundation. There's a total way that the Bible instructs us and tells us to live. Some stuff we just cannot do, even all the way down to parenting. The Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go. She made a statement about kids. I want my kids to be very liberal, very free, and I want them to explore. That's the very opposite of what we believe as believers.
That's the exact opposite of what we believe. So,
however, and I will end with them too. I'm very glad that they are going deeper in conversation. I am proud of them of that, because some people can be so caught up in, there have been seasons where, like, the girl thought the man was so fine, or the man thought the woman was so fine, and they just stayed there for a very long time. I'm glad that they even, like, touch on a little bit. Hey, what are your thoughts about this? He made a comment, I believe, in this episode. He was like, practicality and actuality. I want us to kind of talk about the difference with that, like with our lifestyles, what we believe. So he definitely give us, he's a thinker vibe. Some stuff we got to talk about.
period. We need to discuss it. And sooner rather than later. I appreciate that, because I think that putting off the hard conversations only creates for more issues later. Don't put it off. Let's just go and talk about it. It is what it is.
A bigger disaster, especially when I like you already and I'm falling in love with you. That you come, like, if they had waited 5 weeks in to talk about the foundation of the religion thing, that would definitely be different, because now you got all kind of feelings and vibes and all those things already begin to manifest. So,
So anything else? I told you I ain't got much for Ryan and Clara. He still ain't cut that hair, and the people still mad about it. Okay, the people still mad about it.
I'm people. Let's move on.
Ryan, there's deliverance for you at
Just don't like that hair. I don't.
you heard me, Ryan. There's deliverance for you at the cross, sir.
Let me tell you something. With the little thing that's gonna shave that off, it all gonna come together. The Lord does all things well. Huh? Brianna and Vince.
The faves of the season. Okay, that's why we had to end with them because they are the bomb. So I actually, before we get to their date, I want to talk about first of all, his abuela is healed. Praise the Lord. Granny is doing well.
Amen.
Because last week they were saying that his grandmother had a heart attack and all of that, or was it a stroke? I don't know.
It
Something
was a
happened,
heart attack.
and she was in the hospital, so she is better. Which we love to see it.
Yes, we do.
Um, so what I really liked about Vince and Bree on this particular episode is the way that they show friendship to Chris and Paige. Um,
Mm.
I really liked it because they are only 3 days into this journey. Essentially, they just met these couples 4 days ago. Like they met,
Mm-hmm.
and a day later was the bachelorette party and the bachelor party. Like I don't know these people any more than I know my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, in a time where we are in a situation where we don't know what to do, we're able to go to another couple and be honest about what we feeling about, what's going on, and be they can be a safe place for us. So I appreciate that because I think that in real time, in real relationships, which they are really married, but in the real world, in the regular culture, I do think that couples need other couples. Just like they talk about your single friends, they need the other single people. We a community, we need each other. But I think that couples need other couples. They need somebody who understands or who feels like they understand. Because sometimes it's not that you don't understand, it's just that I feel like you don't understand because you're not in the
Mm-hmm.
situation. So sometimes they just need another couple to say, you know, I feel you. This is what's going on. And I think that they were really good friends because they listened without judgment.
Mm-hmm.
They were honest with them, like, yeah, this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't even tell the other couples. Like they didn't tell anybody else. It remained between the four of them. And then they, when they went back to their booze, I mean not Chris, Vince and Brianna had their little pillow talk. Okay, so what did he tell you? This is what she told me. Yeah, it's bad. Like they had that
Mm-hmm.
moment, but I appreciate the camaraderie and the friendship that was shown in that situation. So
Totally agree.
yeah.
Totally agree. I will also add to that, and I had to put this in a quote because I think at a point when Brianna and Paige were talking, I kind of wanted Brianna to hit her with a little bit more than she hit her with, even from like black girl to black girl, like, girl, this is crazy. But she was trying to remain neutral, which goes to the point that you said, which was really awesome. What she did say was that, she was like, okay, so Brianna was like, well, let me get like your heart about, like, you told me what happened, but then like, how are you feeling? How are you processing? And Paige gives an answer, and Brianna tell her, but I want you to think about what's good for you.
Yeah.
I see you considering your husband. I see you love him. You have the Christian belief. So, it's the whole, I want to cover him. I want to protect him. I want to love him. She didn't really say that, but like, I feel like as a Christian woman, those are some of the principles that we stand on that drives the way that we approach certain things when it comes to like being married. Brianna was like, honey, what's good for you?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you what I would do in your situation because I ain't in your situation, but what's good for you. So I love that point about them. And
to piggyback off of that, how you said, because a lot of people, I think, wanted Brianna to give her more of the, this what you need to do. But as a friend, a real friend understands that not every moment is meant to be an advice giving moment.
mm-hmm,
This moment is
mm-hmm,
she's struggling and she needs to vent. So let her vent. And then one
yeah.
thing that a friend of mine has started to do, that I appreciate is I will call her, I will vent about the situation. And before we get too far into my vent, she'll say, hold on, hold on. Am I just listening? Am I offering my opinion? Am I offering advice? What do you need from me today? And I appreciate that because sometimes I know the right answer. I just want to get it off my chest. And other times I really am looking for an opinion. And other times I'm looking for advice. So I think being able to differentiate those three is really important. So yeah.
Mhm. Love that. It's ironic that it's unique that you said that because, and ironic, because my best friend and I just had that conversation again last night. Some things are venting moments, some things are advice giving moments. And I think that it is sometimes clear of what the expectation is so that the other person is not left with disappointment. So that's really good. Going to ending on a happy note, Brianna and Vincent, honey. I got all the vibes when the camera was on and they woke up in each other's arms. I said, yeah, okay. Let me tell y'all something.
So even further than them waking up in each other's arms, they're playing footsie in the sand on their date. So we in love. Y'all in
So
love.
I ain't seen Fussy in a long time, but I want to say this. It's some special on there. Why? Because a lot of people ain't into feet.
Do
You touching me with your toes?
Let's be clear. She could have told that man, don't ever touch me again. And he would have been like, okay. Like, that man's so in love.
Let me tell you.
When he was sitting at that
Yes, he
table,
is.
and just like, he was like blushing the whole time. Like, this man is turning pink. Y'all not gonna say
Let
nothing? Help this man.
let me tell you something. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if that's your current mood, it was your mood, you have experienced that, or you're hoping to experience that. That moment in relationships that Vince was at, it was just like, girl, like what they say, I'll drink your bath water. Like, I'm all into you.
Fully would have drank that girl's bath water that day, okay?
It just, and I feel like that's like when people talk about the high of like new relationships and new love and new romance and stuff like that. And some people, especially who are folks who are like in bad places in their relationship, they kind of like downplay that. I'm a believer that believes those moments needed. You need to know, like, man, it was a time where, I was just, girl, listen, I am in love with you. Listen, so the waking up with each other's arms, I love it. They have smashed.
Listen, I knew it when they woke up together, but when they said it later, I was like, well, duh, y'all acted too friendly for me today, okay? We can tell that y'all.
Yeah.
And what
And
happened?
so, and one of the
Vince clapped them cheeks, and Bree put that thing on him, and now he sprung, okay? Sprung. Spring has sprung.
somebody accused T-Pain. Sprung. Girl, she got me doing things I never do.
Not ever, okay?
Okay, so no, and then I think too, and I mentioned this on my notes, but what she had said was when they was with the couples having a couples meeting right before the episode ended, she said, already in these short days, we've been through some stuff together.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we've come together. Listen, the time was right, the vibe was right. We felt comfortable with each other and we did it. I have to make mention of like the power in relationships of creating a safe place. It's something about that I adore. It was something about the fact that he came to her in a moment where his heart was broken. He came to her in a moment of fear. He came to her in a moment of anxiety, because it's like when you're really, really close to like your family, when they hurt, you hurt. When they feel, you feel, and then it's like you don't really know what's going to happen after that, because a heart attack can lead to death. People be paralyzed, like all kind of stuff. So he's battling all this emotions, and then here she come in being a bond wife, like, baby, I got you. I'm supporting you. I'm holding you. I care for you and stuff like that. And I think that that's what took him over. He was like, man, and I think he even said, like, I have always wanted and yearned for this level of support.
Yeah, I'm here.
And for some. Go ahead.
What's interesting is a lot of times in Married at First Sight history, if you have sex early on, you normally don't end well.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't see that happening with them. I
Mm-hmm.
don't foresee that being the case with them. I think that they
Yeah.
are adults and it was well thought out and planned, and I think it's gonna go well for them. So I'm excited. They are definitely the favorites of the season. Um,
Hold on, Joy. Let me hit it real quick because you said so. That one of my notes, but I want to touch on that. Typically in history, that by the mid-season, that's like, oh, it's something about because we had sex out of like lust and infatuation that it really wasn't able to sustain. However, I think that like them sharing their emotional intimacy so early,
yeah,
it led to that physical intimacy. I don't think that's going to like bite them in the end.
yeah. I don't think it's gonna bite them either. I agree. I'm just excited. I'm excited to watch them grow together. It's interesting because if you are my Facebook friend, you know that I put up every Thursday a status and we just talk about the episode. So somebody commented and said like she feels like they are living like a fantasy, almost like a fairy tale, and it's gonna come
Mm-hmm.
crashing down. And I'm like, no, I don't want. We can't take no more. Okay, the black couples need to thrive in this season.
Yeah.
We already got one on the free. Somebody else got to act right. Okay.
They have to act right, period.
Yeah. So
They have to act right. And then I'm gonna say this, even down to like the whole fairy tale and like the love stories and stuff like that. Now I could be saying this, and some people say, "Oh, maybe she's young or whatever." However, I am 26 and proud. Just had a birthday last Tuesday. Okay, but I want to say this: there are some people that really do have fairy tale like love stories. Y'all still asking for Sierra Prayer?
still, right now, today, and he wasn't it this week that he said his biggest fear is losing her. I'm like, here they go. They about to start it back up.
Let me tell you something, and not even just that. This for the folks who probably missed that interview when Russell said, "Y'all be asking for her prayer list, but y'all really ain't asked for mine." Like that man had a whole prayer life seeking God on behalf of a wife. Y'all ain't even asking about that. And it's really because a lot of women are like hopeless romantics and really, really want that love, which is also bring me to the point. We don't want to believe in the fairy tale love, all the while we want a fairy tale love. Like which one y'all going with?
Which one y'all going with?
But I think that it is amazing, and I do think that you can have two spirits that are alike and are meant to be, and they come together and it work. And I want to say this, and this is kudos to Brianna, which we mentioned last week. If she had reacted like a different type of way of like, oh, if she had not been present, not been there, and then did not give him what he needed, or maybe what he didn't know that he needed, I think the whole narrative would have been different this episode. But because she was who she was, it just worked for him. Child, this how I knew he was either in love or falling in love. That man said they were talking about her being bossy.
Yeah.
And he said, you can get away with being bossy because you treat me right.
He did say it.
Let me tell y'all, for another man, being bossy ain't gonna work. But he said, and even if it don't actually play like that altogether, what he is saying is this: you are giving me what I need. I want to be able to give you what you need.
Period.
He said, you can be bossy, but you give me what I need.
Take care of me. And you can
You
be
take care of me. Period. And she said he's everything I've dreamed of in a husband thus far up until this point. That's major.
Yeah, it is.
That's major. Let me tell you, no shade to Paige. Paige don't know nothing about that line right there. Brianna said he's everything I've needed in a husband thus far.
And listen, we thank God that somebody got it. Cause
somebody got it.
Whoa.
I put that he wants to be romantic. I kept saying how glowing, how happy like even when she wasn't trying to look happy and glowy, she was giving me happy and glowy vibes. I could tell early on that they had smashed, even before they had said it. It was something about their body language and their chemistry just gave me. We just had amazing sex. It was what we needed it to be, and we're good.
So here's my ending question. Because at the beginning of this season, they kept saying somebody pregnant before decision day. Somebody pregnant before decision day. And clearly we know that the baby that they were referring to at this point is Chris's baby. Could it be Brianna and Vince gonna give us a niece or nephew?
Pregnant? You know, Black people say stuff like this. Is she full pregnant or she like pregnant? Child, if she pregnant, well, listen. If it worked for y'all, it worked for y'all. I'm gonna tell you why I can't say nothing because I'll be a hypocrite. Okay. And me and my husband, we watched the show together, and we did say, because a lot of people say that they were moving entirely too fast. They said that he was letting it on too heavy. They just did not like it. I cannot comment. I love it. I met Quinn on one day, and 6 days later, we had said, I love you. That same day, we got in a relationship. So I can't never say who moving too fast. So if the girl pregnant, flourish. If they pregnant, flourish.
And still married out here in these streets.
Listen, they got married then, baby.
Okay. So yeah, I am excited to see that that whole storyline unfold. I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad. She was
and then, but let's hit this too real quick, since we're talking about babies, and possibly if we having an early niece or nephew or whatever it will be. I feel like people have this like thing of like a timeline of like when people should or should not have kids. And I just don't feel like there's nobody place. And I probably have said it in the past, like, so-and-so needs to have kids or so-and-so does not need to have kids. But if it works for that couple, they both want to be parents, they both found what they're looking for, these folks grown. Let these folks do what they want to do.
I think it is our human inclination to put our opinion on things. I think that is one of the reasons why people are so amped about Chris. Because it's our human inclination to put ourselves in the situation, to say, if it was me in the situation, blah, 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 I would not accept this. I would not like this. I would not allow this. But that's just it. That's you. That's what you would allow. That's what you would not allow. That's what you like. That's what you don't like. And so on and so forth. And I think that when people start to realize that it's more to it than just what you think, there's more to life than that. There are people that have quote unquote rushed and it worked for them. I have a friend who met her husband in January. They were married in October and had a baby in December. And now here they are, 19 years later, still married.
Still married.
Still married. With more children. Because it worked. And I just think that we have to stop being so quick to say what should have been done, because even if, like, I had one of my friends, another friend who watches the show, we always text about it, and low key we bump heads a lot about it. We just friends and we able to not let it affect our friendship. But she was saying that she felt like Paige should have like iced Chris a little longer, like, should not have forgiven him so quickly. And I was like, well, I mean, what's the point of sitting up being mad at dinner? Like, if I'm gonna say what I gotta say, this is what I'm gonna say. This is how I feel. You said what you said, and now we can move on. But I think it just goes back to preference. Like, if that's what works for Paige and Chris, that's what works for Paige and Chris. Those are two individual people. The person that I will marry, they might want to be, when they argue, they may be okay with silence for a long time. I talk too much for that. If we're going to sit here and have dinner, we're going to sit here and have dinner. It's going to be normal. So I just think that whatever works for that individual set of people is fine, but we cannot put our expectations or what works for us on other people. It's your situation for a reason. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
No, I totally agree with that. And then I want to say too, to the mention of how people wanted her to react. Everybody was mad at that rose. We gave her that flower. Folks was pissed the hell off. Why is she smelling that rose?
I'm mad about that. Like, it's okay.
Let me tell y'all something though. Paige, I told you I was gonna do it.
Oh no.
She has made the decision to stick with her husband.
This her Paige voice, in case y'all didn't know.
So I'm going to be at dinner and I'm going to listen to what he has to say. I've been a stepmom before. God would never. I want to finish it, but I want to laugh so bad. Paige said, God will never put more on her than she can bear. I'm telling y'all, Paige came into dinner like I'm staying with my husband. I don't care what y'all say. Roll them cameras. So,
Right. Let's talk. We're gonna talk it out and we're gonna move on.
because they gonna keep having sex.
And that's my thing. Like at this point, let that girl make her own
You
decision.
hear me?
People are so mad that her decision is not their decision. And it's like, it's her decision. It's her life. The only person that has to live with her decision is her. So as much as we can disagree,
Listen, her decision is triggering people.
it's trigger, and I get it. I think that's really what it is that all this whole season is a trigger warning for so many people. But at the end of the day, we have to learn to take a step back and remember that it is not our life, and it is also not our decision. Like, first of all, whatever has happened at this point has happened. They filmed this August to October. It's done. We just now seeing it, but it's already happened. Whatever her decision was, it happened, and it happened while it was still hot outside. We got snow on the ground and it's 5 degrees outside. Y'all can let it go. Whatever she decided, she
Let it go.
So
yeah, she is. Listen, so the wrap up for me, the couple meetup, I did enjoy that. Everybody for the most part was vibing. Chris was going through his own little situation. She did decide that she was sticking with it. I did like that the girls were verbal and supporting her. And Chris mentioned, Chris was like, I feel like when it came out, everybody supported her. Nobody has supported me. People don't like you, Chris. I'm one of the people. I don't care for you.
people don't
when he
like
walked off and he did break.
Like they only gave support to half of the couple. And I know some couples who have struggled when they went through stuff and only one of the people in the situation got support. So the mature side of me, I see why that would be an issue, but I know he was just being a brat. So
yeah, and having another tantrum. And then he said something interesting too, and I'm probably pretty much done after this. I put that he got emotional because everyone else seemed to be genuinely happy and they did not share the same experience. And then he said that he felt bad because Paige did not have that, and really she deserved to be feeling this newness of like newlywed happiness and bliss. I thought that was interesting. I don't think I've ever said anything positive about Chris, but I will say this: the Negro is honest.
yes, he is honest.
He honest. Rather it be trash, it be honest.
He is honest. He is honest.
Child, that's my wrap up. I don't know if I got no more to say about anybody. I'm ready for next week. I
am ready for next week. I'm excited. Thank y'all for tuning in. We had a ton of technical difficulties today. But, it's all good. That's just the charges to the game. We in a whole panoramic. Ain't that what the people say? We in a whole panoramic.
Listen, a whole, not a half one. It's a whole.
A whole panoramic. And we just gotta do what we gotta do. So
this signal is crazy. And we are different states recording this, so
exactly. And we in 2 separate places. So next week we gonna see what happens. Next week, we heard that on the preview, Chris might try to knock Eric's head off. So let us pray. Are you ready?
Our Father.
Our Father.
Who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. I'm kidding.
All right. We out of here, y'all. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see y'all next week.
Bye.